I have a list of the things that I know make me feel more strong, more positive, a list of the things that lift me out of fear and hopelessness. And my responsibility to myself is to access that list. It is to acknowledge that that list exists and to actually use it. And what I would say to anybody watching this looking for tips or advice is that your commitment to yourself has to be the same. You have to have that knowledge of things that have worked in the past, things that you know that you may put off even though they are really good for you. And your responsibility in that case is to actually do those things that you put off. Acknowledge that those are the things that are going to make a difference and actually do them. One thing that I can say with great certainty is usually very helpful for me on some level, and the level is going to vary, but, you know, undoubtedly it's always helpful to some degree, is physical activity. And I have recently, and this is a very recent thing, so I really want to share this because it's been really helpful for me. I have recently switched from calling it exercise or working out to physical activity. And I'll tell you for why, right? I must admit that I think I was just putting too much emphasis on workouts, you know what I mean? So instead of putting emphasis on getting the heart pumping, moving my body, feeling like I'm in my physical body, creating an endorphin release through physical kinetic movement, instead of focusing on that and how that's really the thing that can help me with my depression, I was instead focusing too overtly on workouts, you know, really working up a sweat, pushing myself physically, and sort of like beating my records in certain regards. So I would value going to the gym and weightlifting, going to the gym and doing cardio, doing compound moves on the mat at home, but doing like an actual workout routine that I'd found on the internet or using an app or whatever. And if I didn't feel up to that, which as anybody who's had a depressive episode will understand, sometimes you do not feel up to even getting out of bed. It's like, oh my God, I couldn't possibly imagine going to the gym and smashing out an hour at the gym. I wouldn't see any value in any, you know, it would be a day where I had really no physical activity because I had neglected to see the value in any kind of other physical activity. So now instead of saying to myself, I need to exercise because it's good for me when I have depression, I need to work out because it's good for my mental health, I've switched to saying I need physical activity. Physical activity is good for me. Physical activity helps. Because physical activity doesn't just have to be smashing out a hardcore workout. It doesn't have to be doing something very ambitious, very adventurous, very sweat-inducing. Physical activity can literally, if need be, just be a simple case of going for a walk around the block, doing a few stretches, you know, just sort of moving around the flat a little bit, maybe having a little bit of a dance, you know, just putting some music on and dancing around for a bit. So it's a lot less intimidating, and it reminds me that it's not always about challenging myself and pushing myself to the next level and, you know, ambition. It doesn't have to be about that. It can simply be about making sure that I'm moving around, I'm in my body, I'm raising my heart rate a little bit. And that's really helped me. So I don't know how many people this will be helpful for, but if you are a person that does connect exercise and working out with an improvement in your mental health and your emotional well-being, might I suggest you switch from thinking about exercise as being the thing you should be doing to thinking about just any physical activity. Because if you can't handle a workout, you can handle some kind of low-level physical activity. And that's really the beautiful thing about switching up your wording, is that you realise, oh wow, my whole perspective is different now. I was actually putting way too much value on pushing myself to the limit. It is amazing to recognise that that doesn't necessarily always have to be the case, and that you can just relax and come from the place that you're at, you know, and let yourself really just be where you are in that moment without feeling like, oh, I've got to go on this absolute rampage to push myself to the limit or break my record on the cross trainer or, you know, do this really intense yoga workout. It doesn't have to be like that. You can just, you know, march around your flat, do some lunges, I don't know, whatever you're physically capable of doing that you feel will up your heart rate a little bit. You know, I think I was really starting to undervalue how much walking does me good, because I started to get myself into this headspace where I was annoyed with myself for not going to the gym, not feeling up to working out in that way. So I was undervaluing the simple majesty and importance of just like walking around the block, you know, just going for a walk around the street for a couple of minutes and coming back. So I have decided that from now on, it's physical activity that I need to make sure I pursue. And I can pursue that in a number of different ways. It doesn't have to be in this very ambitious way.